Racing in the rain went from just a wild thought to a normal occurrence when NASCAR and Next Gen Racing came together. And today we are taking this brand new Next Gen mod in R Factor 2 into the rain at Watkins Glen for 15 laps of racing, where we will watch this weather naturally progress from a heavy wet surface and heavy rain into a more dry line forming as this race progresses on. This is going to be a fun episode. Hello everybody and welcome on in. I hope you're all having a great day. We are racing here as Kyle Larson's number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet Camaro, trying to take him to the front over the course of 15 laps of racing in the wet conditions against this AI in this brand new Next Gen mod that you can download down below in the description if you have Steam in R Factor 2. As you can see, a bit of a stack up there immediately. You have to respect the conditions in R Factor 2. Rain is not easy to drive in, and I even struggle sometimes with no assist on in a dry racetrack, so you can imagine how treacherous it could be in the wet. Now as we're battling with the 42, that's Noah Gregson. Of course, this is a 2023 paint scheme pack. Now as there's Jensen Button and the number 15 for Rick Ware Racing there, as we'll exit the carousel, struggling a little bit for grip. You got to see how patient I'm being on throttle. You see I have a new HUD. This is actually a mod. This HUD is a full-blown mod that you can also download, and you can see my throttle in brake tracking there in the bottom right speedometer now. So struggling for grip, of course, as you expect. In these conditions, you got to be really patient, and you just got to manage that throttle control and just make sure you don't overstep the boundaries of what the racing conditions on the surface are going to allow. As Chris Buescher comes fighting along the left side there, as we complete lap 1 of 15, we're going to lunge down deep to the inside of the 15 of Button, and we'll pass the 2009 F1 World Champion. Jensen Button, of course, tons more rain racing experience than the rest of this field. We do have Kimi Räikkönen as well in this field, so plenty of wet weather racing experience under his belt, as well as we have now run down our teammate, the 48 of Alex Bowman, as we currently run in 9th position. And I felt like I had overall the upper hand, surprisingly, on the AI, but it was difficult because you're trying to manage traffic, so traffic management's a big thing. I felt like I was just for clarification, on the hardest difficulty. I was running 120% strength, but I felt like I had the upper hand this whole time. It was just about managing traffic at this point. Now, as you can see, nearly losing it there out of the penultimate turn, slipping the rear end. Fortunately, we save it, and we lose the spot to the 48, but we should be able to get it back quite easily, as we would actually have to wait till the backstretch towards the bus stop chicane, and Bowman goes for a bit of a defensive move. We lunge one up the inside. He's trying to lunge up the inside of the 22 of Logano. We go wheel to wheel. Great racing side by side through this bus stop in this treacherous weather as we clear the 48. Now Logano trying to go the long way around the 7 of that being Corey LaJoie in 2023, and we are going to try and force this 3. Actually gave a knock to his quarter panel right there, and Logano backs out of it as I slide on the exit, but we clear them both into P6 as we're quickly moving our way forward. As look at how much ground I gained into turn 1 here, starting the 3rd lap of this race, and that was just kind of an accident. I felt like I had overdriven the corner and went way too deep. Fortunately, I was able to get the car slowed down in time, but now pressuring the back of the 99 of Monterrey, Mexico's Daniel Suarez as we get right towards the back of him, but he actually stretches back out, and hold on, he stretches it, but we reel him back in. Actually hits the brakes. Almost brake test us right there, but nonetheless, we'll get back to him. We'll pull out to the right side. This is to put us into the top 5 as we now take the position with ease. Suarez doesn't really try to fight it, so up into the top 5 we go. Denny Hamlin in the number 11 currently leads this race. This is honestly a lot of fun. As you can see, we have now run down, actually this is a custom car in the mod, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the number 88, but having a lot of fun racing in the wet weather. And of course, something that has as well become a thing in Next Gen is racing in the wet or damp conditions on ovals, specifically flat short track ovals. So I'm looking to maybe do a video of racing in the rain / damp on a flat short track oval as well. Let me know down below if you would like to see that and how that could maybe differ, but we're up to P4. We are on a roll as we try to run down the 20 of Christopher Bell. We slip, we slide, and we overcorrect off the racetrack. We go, and we go just a little bit too hard on the throttle, committing a bit too much, and we pay the consequence for it. And just like that, we go from out of the top 5 down to about 14th, 15th, make that maybe 16th, as here comes the 43 of Eric Jones to our left side, followed by his teammate at Legacy Motor Club there of Noah Gregson. And yeah, I mean, I just simply pushed a little bit too hard. I was getting a bit too comfortable, too confident, and I overstepped my boundary, and well, of course we paid the price for that. So now the win is probably out of the window, which I felt like originally we could have been fighting for. That's likely not going to happen now, but as we are inside now, 10 laps to go. We go the long way around the outside of the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Look at the momentum we can carry, but we as well know this track is going to start to dry up now. Showing you guys a cockpit view here in this car. It's actually really cool. I had to change the FOV because it was way back in the car, way behind the steering wheel. I kind of wanted it up on the dash, but look at the visibility when you're inside the car, when the spray is coming off of the cars in front of you. There's not a lot you can see, and this is at a point where the rain has let up quite a bit compared to what we had on lap 1 and 2, and it is a really cool view. However, I don't know why, but the camera moving around a lot really was messing with my head, so I went back to the roof cam pretty quickly now, as we got a double wide battle here between the 24 Valvoline William Byron in that Camaro there, alongside Kevin Harvick in the number 4, who goes wide and now opens the door for myself now to try and move through into P13, side by side through into the carousel, as Byron tries to maintain that 12th position as we continue to just go forward, be patient. We learned our lesson early on in this race as Byron shuts the door on the exit there, and we slip and slide a little bit. You see that standing water along the curbing on the left, but on the front straightaway coming to lap 7, pulling out to the right side here. Larson's looking for a move on the 14 of Briscoe as he backs out of it, and Byron and myself continue side by side. You see the brake rotors there on that right front glowing on the 24 as we'll clear him on the exit of turn 1. There really is so much fun to be had here. As you can see, it's just wheeling it as we had run down. Now the 14 of Briscoe, who eventually did get passed by the 5 of Kyle Larson. We're already halfway through this race as we look up the inside of the 14, kind of leaning on his door a little bit here as we'll exit that penultimate turn, slipping around a little bit again. So this is not going to be a complete pass yet, but as we enter the final turn, we do clear that Mahindra Tractors Stewart Haas Racing number 14 of Chase Briscoe now, and we quickly run down Larson and Busher. They kind of stack up at the top of the hill, and now we pull out to the right side now, and the number 5 versus the number 5 actually have a bit of a game starter right there. But on the inside of the 17 of Chris Buescher, we go side by side through the bus stop. He goes wide, he turns the sideways, we save it. What a save that was. We continue on, but the 17 just pushed out wide. We've seen some drivers struggle with that in the bus stop so far, usually in front of us, now beside us, and we pay the price there. But a huge save keeps us still in the conversation as it will continue in the 14th spot, and we're very much in the mix to get back up there and pass that 17 and the 5 here, hopefully within the next couple of laps. Now look at this move into turn 1, passing Truex, getting again alongside Chase Briscoe to put us up in the 12th, right to the back bumper of that Valvoline 24 of William Byron. Unfortunately couldn't quite get a move on him all the way up the hill through the bus stop, but right here through the carousel, give him a bit of a knock to the bumper. Now sneak up the inside, we'll go wheel to wheel, clear, not even a contest, back up into P11. But we're coming up on the final 5 laps of racing here from Watkins Glen in the rain. You can see the track visually, and just by the spray of the car, even the color of the sky, the lighting of the sky, you can see that the conditions are overall improving as we still continue to struggle a little bit. And actually the 5 just stomps on the brakes, and the 24 gets us both. William Byron gonna slip through, and now we have one heck of a battle here. All 300 cars going at it now. We'll pull out to the right side down this front straightaway. We will go 3 wide to try and enter the top 10 here into turn 1 as we start lap 10 of this race, and we sure enough move back into the top 10 as we try to run down that 17 of Chris Buescher, and we do exactly that. And very, very lightly you can see a dry lane starting to form. You can see there's no more raindrops. The wiper is no longer moving, so the rain has stopped as a 17 pushes out wide again, nearly into us as we give him a shot to the bumper once, twice now as we'll pull out to the right side, get up the inside, and this will put us into P9. Should be able to pretty easily clear the 17 as we kind of slide across and let him know we haven't been a huge fan of how he's raced around me so far today in the rain. Now as we'll breeze past his 48 of Alex Bowman and follow now Joey Logano as we come into the final closing laps of this race. Lap 11 of 15 and a bit of contact with the 22, but you can kind of see that dry lane starting to really kind of take form now. It's far from actually being dry as Logano gives us a bit of a door there, and I'm going to give it right back to him now as we go into the carousel, and this will move us up into P7 once we're able to clear that Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang. So we get the spot. We get right to the back of Corey LaJoie. You see the sun's trying to poke through the clouds now as well, so that's going to maybe help the drying process as we head down towards turn 1. This for P6. We have just 3 laps to go. As soon as we hit lap 14, it's the start of the final lap. That's how it works in our Factor 2. So you can really start to see some of that lighter gray surface right there. It's not much, but here was a surprise. At the end of lap 12, coming to 2 to go, a bunch of the leaders pit. I couldn't get a replay of it because it wouldn't allow me to go past the point where I got a screenshot for a thumbnail, but Denny Hamlin and others in front of us pitted for dry tires, and now Dale Earnhardt Jr. was leading coming to the final lap of this race. You can see some blue sky poking out. You continuously see the lane, the dry lane, getting drier and drier. Lighter and lighter gray is what you want to see, and Dale Jr. in the bottom left you can see is about 6 seconds ahead as he would come to start the final lap of this race, but we are finding some pace. The track is drying. If this race was longer, it's a shame that it's kind of ending right when it was really starting to get interesting. If we had another 5-10 laps, it would be really intriguing to see what would happen, but we are flying compared to Dale Jr., and suddenly we're in position to maybe win this race. Now, I can confirm Denny Hamlin and others behind me that have switched over to the dry tires, they are absolutely hauling the mail. They will run us down in a few laps, but they don't have the time. So suddenly, we're in the mix for the win as we have 2 corners to go, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is he's fallen off a cliff. We have only run about half a second, 6, 7, 8, now a full second better. Look at the ground we found on the top of the screen there in this final lap. Into the penultimate corner, that 88 slipping, sliding. Look at that slide from Junior. He leaves the door open, and suddenly we take the lead in the final turn. Look in the mirror, that 88 continues to slide. He nearly loses it, but we come down the front straightaway to steal the win in a wet race thriller here from Watkins Glen. I would have loved to run more laps to see how that would have played out, because it surely would have been interesting. But what a race nonetheless. This is a lot of fun, and I can't wait to show you guys some more. That's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.